Hi everybody. Happy week 3. I decided to do a video again just because I don't mind it too much because I can explain everything a lot better and it kind of makes me feel like I'm in class a little. But I decided to do the case of John Laughlin. And he is a 6.5-year-old male who lives with mom, stepdad, and sister. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. But he had his mom brought him for consistent tantrums. Um, and in the description of the text, just to summarize it, his overall behavior is described as angry and irritable. The issue is occurring for over a year. It's gotten worse, but has been happening obviously since he was 2. He will have verbal and behavioral outbursts when things don't go his way, as she said. He'll stomp his feet, hit himself, and lash out at others. He has no friends because they are afraid of him, and behaviors are getting worse. Mom's at a loss. At a loss. Um, Said episodes can last from 10 minutes to 2 hours and are happening daily, if not multiple times a day. So, I read it a couple of times to try and look for much of a background, but there isn't really any except for all the negatives. And of course, mom's description of what's happening, which is completely understandable because the mom is just trying to get everything out there and getting all the information. But we don't see any strengths for John. I would like to know some of his strengths and some of his school performance history. You could make the assumption that his grades are bad based on him having the behavioral issues and having no friends because his behaviors are probably impacting his school performance. Um, I would also like to know if there is a history of any abuse, which I feel like mom probably would have said so, but just to double check there and maybe if it occurred while like around the age that it started, that they thought, oh, it's just regular behavioral issues as a 2-year-old, but then just got worse. Um, and yeah, so just some more basic history more than just the presenting issue. Um, I had a discussion with a friend of mine. She is a LCSW. Her name is Lindsay Palmer. Her name now is Carner, but Lindsay Palmer Carner, which is a mouthful. Um, she's currently working at Halston Home in Greenville, but she did work at Stepping Stone when I was there, and she left shortly before I did. But so what I did was I gave her the information. I did this by phone. But I gave her the information first and then, or the background, and then I said my suggestions just to see if she thought I might be on the right track. Um, but my initial ideas were to get him first is get him further evaluated, um, to see if there is any more diagnoses that go along with it. Because I know the text specifically said that usually it's very rare for DMDD or for it to be like a singular diagnosis. And we had also found an article titled Treatment Planning Strategies for Youth with DMDD, and it had stated that 1 to 3% of youth uh, may meet the full criteria. So that's a very small percentage. So seeing what else may be back or may be happening, I feel like would be a good idea. Second, I wanted to get with possibly the school, set up an IEP or a 504, I'm sorry, um, to address some of the school issues and help him succeed there. I did want to get John in therapy individually to discuss coping skills and then also have family sessions with John and the whole family to discuss things as a familial unit and then establish a safety plan and a treatment plan. And then Lindsay had stated getting a psych eval for med management because he would probably need something for like ADHD or um, oppositional defiant disorder, ODD, um, and then to rule out other comorbid diagnoses. So, sort of what I was saying. She also suggested that the parents attend counseling of their own or even attend support groups so that they're having support, getting the education they may need to help support him. And then she said specifically work with John for emotional regulation. Um, and obviously for adults, it's hard to sometimes regulate emotions, and for a 6-year-old, I'm sure it's very difficult, and it would definitely take time. Um, but I mean, that was really all I had. Those are my next steps, and then any other considerations, just where we don't have much of a background, I don't know. So that would definitely come in play with getting more information from mom, and even talking to John would probably be a good idea, even though he is 6. But 6-year-olds are smart. Um, but yeah, I think that is it. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and I look forward to reading everyone else's ideas and cases they chose. Have a good one.